Welcome to the Recap Master channel, and this is a retelling of the movie, It Follows. Enjoy your stay. Young half-naked girl Annie runs down the street, her chasing a weird horrifying creature. Girl runs into the house. According to her father's incomprehensible look, after a couple of minutes, Annie gets into the car and leaves towards the beach. When her excited father calls her, she says goodbye to her parents in a frightened voice. In the morning, the girl's mutilated body is found on the same beach by a university. Jay relaxing in the pool getting ready for an evening date with a new boyfriend Hugh. Her sister Kelly reports that her friends Paul and Yara came to her. They are going to watch a movie and invite Jay to join, but the girl refuses, assuring that she needs to prepare for the evening meeting. Arriving at the theater, the couple plays a game. One thinks of any person in whose place he would like to be and the other has to guess who the partner chose. When Hugh points at a girl in a yellow dress, Jay looks at the young man incomprehensibly, assuring that he does not see anyone there. The young man begins to get nervous and, saying that he feels sick and asks his girlfriend leave with him. The next day while walking Kelly, Jay shares her feelings about the first date. It seemed to her that Hugh was nervous because he saw his ex-girlfriend, otherwise why did he so abruptly want to leave the theater? In the evening, Jay meets with their boyfriend again. Evening walk ends with sex in the car. After, when the girl is relaxed by telling her childhood dreams, Hugh hits her with chloroform. She awakens in the wheelchair in some abandoned place. Her hands and feet are tied up, and her boyfriend wanders around with a devastated look. When he sees that Jay woke up, he explains why he did this to her. Someone gave him a strange curse. He is able to see a certain creature that is chasing him. Now the same will be happening to Jay. He passed this curse to the girl during unprotected sex. The entity can take on any shape, and if it catches Jay, the girl will face death. The guy interrupts his story when he feels that someone is approaching. The girl looks with horror as a naked woman is heading towards them. Hastily taking the wheelchair with her girlfriend to the car, young man continues its instructions. The creature moves very slowly, so you can run away from it, but it's unlikely to it. Hugh warns that Jay should avoid rooms in which there is no emergency exit. To get rid of the persecution, she needs to sleep with anyone to pass the curse. After all, if this thing kills the girl, the next victim will be Hugh himself. Kelly, together with Paul and Yara, plays cards on the porch discussing their teenage problems. At that moment, a car stops in front of the house. The sister's boyfriend pulls the exhausted girl out of it and then rapidly leaves. When they see Jay half-dressed and with her hands tied up, Kelly immediately calls the police. After questioning the victim, the officers examine the scene. They find out that the guy introduced himself with a false name and now he just disappeared. The girl herself falls into a depression, refuses to eat and silent all the time. After a few days, Jay, sitting at her classroom, sees through the window a woman in a hospital cloth. It moves slowly towards their building. Realizing that no one else sees this, girl immediately leaves college. She goes to a cafe where Kelly and Paul work part-time. After hearing a story about an old woman and about what Hugh told her, sister assures that this is just fiction. She is sure that Jay experienced a strong emotional shock and that's why she imagines all sorts of nonsense. Paul is agreeing to stay at girl's house for the night to provide them with additional protection. Kelly invites Yara to join them and the girl agrees. At night, Paul and Jay are sitting in living room, chilling in front of the TV and talking about their childhood times. The conversation is interrupted by the sound of broken glass. Young man goes to the kitchen to check what happened there. Realizing that someone broke the window and ran away, he goes back to Kelly so that she can call the police. Left alone, Jay sees that a scantily clad woman is walking straight towards her who urinates right on the go. Screaming in fear, girl runs upstairs to the room of her sister and friends. They don't see anyone and try to calm her down. When Jay sees that a tall guy without eyes is approaching her, she runs out of the house screaming. In an unstable mental state, they find her in an old playground. The noise attracted the attention of their neighbor Greg, so the guy came right away after Kelly, Paul and Yara. Hearing that someone broke into the girl's house, he offers his help. He manages to find out Hugh's real name. The Rayall's guy's name is Jeff Redmond. Having obtained his real address, friends driving there. Door opens, the guy's mother, The woman calls out her son, and he comes to the company of young friends. He says that the creature is pursuing those who had a sexual relationship with the previous persecuted. He himself continues to see this entity, realizing that it has not forgotten him either. He offers Jay to sleep with someone and propose to that someone to do the same. The guy is sure that this thing is something that constantly follows on the same paths of his victim. The only thing she can do is to go as far as she can to buy some time. Jay becomes hopeless. She doesn't know how to behave in this situation. Greg offers them to go to his house at the lake, away from the city, to come up with a plan of salvation. Having reached the place, the company gets into the house and settles down. After few days, the whole company is resting on the shore of the lake. The creature takes the form of Yara and slowly goes to its victim. Friends do not see her, but they see what is happening with Jay. Her hair rises, and after that the girl starts to move from side to side. Pool randomly throws a chair and successfully hits the creature, for which he immediately receives a counter-attack that throws him a few meters away. Having reached the revolver, Jay tries to shoot the vision, but her attempts do not bring success. Being in a barn without an emergency exit, the girl falls into despair. The door breaks, and in opening there is Greg, but after a moment he disappears. Instead of Greg, there is that creature in the form of the neighbor's boy climbs into the hole. In a panic, Jay jumps out of barn, gets into the car and leaves in an unknown direction. Losing control, the girl drives off the road, having rammed a piece of the cornfield. From the impact, she loses consciousness and awakes in the hospital. In the evening, Greg comes to Jay's room and offers to have sex. He does not believe in the curse and persecution of an unknown creature, so this way he tries to help Jay. Few days later, the young man visits his friend in the hospital and reports that nothing strange has happened to him during this time. The girl sighs with a relief, hoping that this is where her nightmare ended. One evening, aimlessly looking out the window, the girl sees Greg. He approaches his house and tries to open the door. When he fails to open, he breaks the window with a stone and climbs inside. By calling the neighbor's number and hearing from the answering machine, frightened for a friend, the girl runs to his house, going inside. She sees that the guy's mother is standing in front of her son's room and knocking on the door. The woman's rope is open, and this is given by the fact that the woman is not real, it is that thing again. This is how it wants to lure young man. Jay tries to warn Greg about the danger, but he suddenly opens the door. The creature jumps on him, pushing him inside the room. And after the guy dies, creature is engaging sexual pleasures with the body. Frightened girl gets into the car and drives away from the nightmare she has seen. She understands that Greg is dead, and that means that the creature will begin to hunt for her again. Now that she drove away far enough, girl stops and does not notice how she falls asleep. When she returns home, the girl again closes herself from the outside world. She sleeps only with the door locked, and her sister or friends spend the nights with her. One morning, Paul admits that he has long been in love with the girl and is ready to help her to get rid of the curse. She doesn't want to risk the life of a young man. Jay refuses. Then the guy offers another plan to lure the creature into the pool and supply water with the electric discharge. Having prepared electrical appliances, friends begin to wait. Jay herself gets into the water, planning to trap the creature this way, but creature turned out to be smarter. The entity begins to throw objects at its victim, thereby knocking her off balance. Paul takes out a gun and tries to help his friend, but a stray bullet hits Yara. Kelly manages to throw a sheet on the creature so that Paul can make an accurate shot. After the bullet reaches the head of an unknown entity, it begins slowly fall into the water. Jay does not have time to get out on the side so that friends can put the electricity on. Creature grabs girl by the leg, but another shot of Paul gives her precious seconds, which is enough to get out of the water. The creature disappears, leaving the pool filled with blood, but only Jay sees this. When she returns home, she agrees to the proposal of Paul to make love and pass the curse. Waiting when girlfriend falls asleep, the young man goes outside and finds a few night butterflies. A few days later, the couple walks down the street carelessly holding hands, but they do not notice that they are being pursued the whole walk by a strange man. The end of the movie. Here the director of the film made it clear to us that we have use protection in the future. Thank you very much for watching. Well, of course, as always, subscribe to the channel, put your thumbs up and of course write comments.